Imagine being a teenager. You're scrolling through TikTok and all of a sudden you see a representation of DID that makes it seem kind of interesting and fun to you. I feel like there is a huge distinction from having dissociative identity disorder and individuals who choose to fake it online. It's almost like it's not DID, it's more of like an imaginary RP kind of situation. And yeah, role-playing is fun. A lot of us do that in our spare time, whether it's Dungeons and Dragons or I don't know, playing Sims or actually role-playing. But then comes a time where you learn about what DID really is and that you don't actually have it. In story number 2, we are going to be talking about someone who is in a server for people who have gone through a specific and extremely traumatizing event. But there are some people on the server who haven't gone through this event and they are claiming others to be systems. We are going to be talking about all of this in today's video. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and let's get into the video. I think it was mid-2020, late 2021 when I started watching TikTok compilations about DID. It had the Wonderland system TikToks in it, so you can probably guess how that went. For some reason, I thought it was really cool that people had these identities in their head and everything that'd ensue with it. I had 3 alters that fit pretty basic archetypes of what most fakers use. The edgy one, the little, the mature one, and the quirky, haha, I'm so different one. I told one of my close friends about it and he somehow believed me. I even invited them to a Discord server that was basically a diary for each alter, which is something I'm pretty sure no system would ever do. I did things like switching on call, introducing my alters, and faking amnesia. However, my DID magically faded away as I forgot about my alters and the server I made for them. And my friends didn't even question a single thing about it. After thinking about it years later, the reason I may have faked DID was because I was just some weird teen looking for a way to fit in and find myself, thinking that gravitating towards a disorder would make me unique and different. After taking a look at the actual disorder and myself, I learned how much of a struggle it was and realized I'm very lucky not to have to deal with any of these symptoms and the PTSD that comes with it. Fast forward to today, I'm actually very happy where I am now. I'm confident in myself as a person and I don't need a disorder in order to be someone special because I know my worth. As for my friends, I have a feeling that some believed me and some didn't. I'm no longer in that friend group, but I do wish them well and want to give them the world for somehow surviving through my delusions. DID can be seen as intriguing by a psychological stance. Intriguing and sad that a child had to turn to this extreme dissociation mechanism. In order to survive extreme childhood trauma, the brain splits off into multiple identities. This coping mechanism might have saved you during childhood when experiencing a traumatic event that your brain thought it couldn't survive. But going into adulthood, it might no longer be adaptive for you, experiencing dissociation, symptoms of PTSD. Hi OP, thank you so much for sharing your story. I do think it is commendable that you are able to come to a conclusion of why you think you did these things in the past. Mid-2020s? Yes, that is when COVID happened, and a lot of us, we didn't know what to do with our time. I'm interested in future studies to see how COVID might have psychologically affected us. So imagine going through this time, you're a teenager, and this is your first introduction to DID. Some people might remove themselves from TikTok and do research on reputable literature, but other people, they'll just stay on TikTok. This can make someone without DID believe that they genuinely do have it or see other people getting attention for it, and that is something that you might crave. You might not understand that it is the impact of profound trauma and the intricate nature of the disorder. While people who are faking DID online might have these specific alters like the edgy one, the mature one, the littles, I do want to say that that is something that does and can happen with DID. I do want to say I'm not a professional, I don't specialize in dissociative disorders, but it can be possible for a person with dissociative identity disorder to have different diaries for each alter. Anybody who is living with DID, I don't know, maybe you want to let us know your thoughts in the comments. I can think of very specific circumstances in my teenhood where I would do things specifically to fit in. You admit that, hey, you were trying to discover and find yourself. And I always say that when someone who's a teenager, their brain is still developing, when they fake a disorder, and especially if they know that it's wrong, I think most people who are blatantly faking do, you still kind of have to take it with a grain of salt of, hey, you were a teenager, your brain wasn't fully developed. It is commendable that you are able to see your worth without feeling like you have to do extreme things to come off as unique. But again, thank you so much for sharing your story. I think it can kind of help us to understand why other people might feel like they want to fake it. I used to be deep in DID faking spaces, especially servers on Discord. You wouldn't believe how deep the pit of faking and convincing other people they have DID goes. I was in a server for a while, specifically for RAM-COA systems. They would discuss their trauma, their programming, suspicions of RA. At least 100 people in the server openly airing out this trauma for anybody to see. One of the server mods said they took part in some of the programming, and that because of this, they can instantly clock anybody that is a RAM-COA system if you tell them about why you suspect it. Another crazy thing is how these people convince themselves they are real systems and really do have DID. The only reason that they're second guessing is that denial is a symptom of DID. I find this story interesting because there is a little bit of a disconnect between if you know that you are not a survivor of this specific abuse and you still think you're a system. Obviously, it is possible to be a system without having gone through this specific trauma, but you have to know that you're like lying or not saying things, you know what I mean? A lot of people might not be ready, but some people might be prepared to air out, their experiences and for others who can relate to it. Yes, denial is a symptom of DID. That's why I'm very cautious, because it's like, I feel like there's a difference between completely knowing that you made up your alters and thinking that you're faking it, but I don't know. But this story can be connected to the social identity theory. People often derive a sense of identity from the groups that they are within. In cases of online communities, you might get a sense of validation and belonging, and sure, yeah, I guess I do have DID. This is able to reinforce beliefs and behaviors and leads us on to the echo chamber effect. I think TikTok is very good at this because I swear, if you look up one video of #ADHD on your For You page for weeks, there's gonna be videos about that specific topic. This can lead to the normalization and amplification of different ideas, even if they are unfounded. Maybe they even have a selective attention in the way that they look at specific symptoms of DID and kind of ignore ones and symptoms that you don't have. One might say, yes, I do experience dissociation and I know this isn't DID, but sometimes my personality can be different in different settings, but ignore other symptoms like PTSD symptoms and amnesia. And seriously, imagine being a young or a vulnerable person and someone on the internet is telling you that they truly do believe you have DID. Hey, I don't know what I would believe. Saying that denial is a symptom could be part of the self-verification theory. Saying that denial is a symptom can reinforce your beliefs in having this diagnosis. Doubt and skepticism about having DID can further reinforce the belief that you do have it. But if anyone has gone through a specific experience or you do genuinely believe you might have a dissociative disorder, it might be worth getting checked out by a mental health professional. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about either one of these stories. I think in story number 1, it is commendable to be able to say you know what, I was wrong. And in story number 2, it's tricky because it's like, what are you supposed to do? Be like, hey, all of you stop this, go see a professional. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, turn the bell on if you're feeling risky, and comment below. Thank you so much. It helps with the algorithm. Also, thank you so much to each and every one of my members for supporting my efforts on this channel. It means the world to me. But to everyone, have a good day, night, whatever the case may be, and peace out.